Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Pregaming Pigskin. I'm your host, Wire to Wire Gene, and to my upper left corner, the man running the ones and twos. I got the king of the Sports Empire Network, the newest admin, Kyle Edwards. What's up, Kyle? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Phenomenal. In my upper right corner, I got the THEEGODFREY, the Godfrey, who is no longer with us, but that's okay. Godfrey, you there?
Yeah.
He's not. So it's just me and you for now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Godfrey can hop back on the show. But we got a lot to talk about NFL sports, NFL Pick'em. We're going to talk about each thing Thursday. No Thursday night football. So there's no Thursday night football. We got 2 Saturday games, all Sunday games. Look at Godfrey. There he is. He's back. Can you hear us? GODFREY?
I can hear you, yes.
What's popping? All right, so let's get into the docket for this week. But before we do that, I want to just talk about something that's been talked about on the Big Three. It's been talked about on Wire to Wire. It's be talked about tonight. It's Damar Hamlin. Good news coming out of everything in Cincinnati. He's able to communicate, writing things down. His brain vitals are coming back. He asked if they won the football game. The doctor said, yes, you won at life. You definitely won. You won the game of life. So there's a lot of good news coming out about Damar Hamlin. And I just want to start there. Last night we said a prayer on air. Prayers are working. So let's just a quick 30-second, if you don't mind, take a second for Damar Hamlin and say a prayer for him and his family. Continue to pray for Damar Hamlin. So I think that it's one of those things that we need to continue to talk about, front of mind, front of sight. Kyle Edwards, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, the athlete in him, of course, asked about the game, but I think it was a perfect answer to him that he wanted life. It's a situation that no athlete wants to go through, that seeing your teammate, your brother, your friend like that. I mean, that's your extended family. You spend as much time with them as you do, wife, kids, girlfriend. So has to be tough on all of them. I mean, Bengals players as well, even though they're not on the same team and all that. But it's the NFL brotherhood, and I just hope he continues to progress. The doctor said substantial improvement, which is always a good thing to hear. And if there was some way that we could like hear from him, I sure like that would uplift people even more. But just taking it day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, each minute that he's able to respond to people, because it said like he's like grabbing people's hand and all that kind of stuff. Like at this point, every moment from here on out is just, you just gotta thank God for all that.
GODFREY.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's getting functioning back and things like that, because I was concerned about the resuscitation and all that. I'm just glad that he's talking and gonna pull through this. I'm feeling pretty good on that for him, and I think he's, people are pouring out the love. I mean, over 7 million for his charity. It's surged past 7 million, which is really cool, of people to do, and just people pulling through him, a lot of positive energy. And thank goodness for the first responders being out there, being on it right away. Time is of the essence in this situation. And I saw an interview with 2 of the doctors on CNN today, and they were talking about how time was of the essence, and the people on the field getting to him as quickly as he did just really, really was, really important, and it saved his life and saved a lot of other things, saved his quality of life and all that. So I'm just really thankful this guy's going to be able to live and talk and feel emotion and just be part of life and be thankful and just see all the outpouring that's been there for him. It's got to be wild to wake up to that. And I'm just glad that it looks like he's going to pull through, make a good recovery. I mean, based on what the doctor said, I'm really happy about that because that's what everybody's waiting for. That's what we're on pins and needles. We're like, come on, man, we want this kid to wake up and talk, and it's the best news I've heard all day. Best news I've heard all week. So
I wanted to take a second to read you something that I thought was super cool. Bengals Zach Taylor praises Bills coach Sean McDermott for actions. Buffalo Bills coach Sean McDermott had a singular thought when Damar Hamlin was driven off the field in the ambulance, according to Cincinnati Bengals head coach. In the first comments since Hamlin collapsed, Taylor divulged his on-field conversation with McDermott on Monday night before the game was suspended between the two teams. When I got over there, the first thing Coach McDermott said was, I needed to be at the hospital for Damar, and I shouldn't be coaching this game. Taylor recalled to Wednesday to reporters, seeing the way he handled his team just deepened that respect for him and verified everything I've always thought about him as a coach and a man. I love that. I love that, and I think that there's so many people that deserve credit for the way this was handled. They did exactly what they should do and cancel the football game. I'm not going to give the NFL credit for that. I'm going to give the coaches and the players credit for that. The first responders that were on scene, the Cincinnati hospital that's taking care of him, the outcry of the millions and millions of people praying for Damar, from teams to players. I love that. I love that. That shows you the NFL is a brotherhood and it's a family. So we are going to talk football tonight. We are going to go over all the scenarios, but it would not be right for us not to open the show by saying a prayer and making sure we keep everything front of mind with Damar Hamlin. He's not out of the woods yet, right? Like just positive stuff that we're hearing today. But until he's out of the woods, until I see that man healthy, walking around and feeling better, I'm going to keep saying prayers for that man each day, each show that we do. So that's what we do at Sports Empire Network. That's what I do as an adult and as a grown man that loves and respects the game of football. And I have one negative comment to all you losers out there commenting about fantasy football or your FanDuel bet or what's going to happen to your team because this game didn't get played. You need to shut your mouth. And remember, a player was laid on the field fighting for his life. He died on that football field. They resuscitated him. I need you to do me a favor, and I need y'all to stop worrying about anything other than this young man's life.
Yeah. That goes for also the ones who are trying to throw T. Higgins into all of this as well.
Oh, Bart Scott's a piece of shit.
People were doing that?
Yes.
Bart Scott.
Yeah.
Bart Scott on ESPN. Oh, you got to be kidding me last night on Wire to Wire. He said that it's T. Higgins' fault for dropping his head and shoulder in the Damar's chest.
Yeah.
Bart Scott, one of the dirtiest players ever played football, ever play in NFL football, said that.
Yeah.
Wild.
I can't believe that. Yeah.
See, that's why I don't. Was that a First Take or something? That's why I hate those shows. I'm sorry, I just do because they make these thirsty takes that are crap and they're not genuine. They're just designed to get reaction, and I refuse to be someone's puppet.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how I feel about those guys.
All right, but Jeremy brings up the first topic that I had in mind about what is going to essentially happen with the game between Buffalo and Cincinnati. There's 4 or 5 solutions that were brought forward. 8th seed making the playoffs and having no bye because Cincinnati, Kansas City, and Buffalo all could have earned that bye based off of what happens in that game and this week. There's also a talk. I think we can all be sure. Maybe I'm wrong because I think Godfrey might have a different opinion. But I think we're pretty sure that they're not going to play this football game. I'm pretty sure they're not going to play this football game. Do you think this football game gets played?
I do. Yep.
I do. Nope.
I mean, I don't know how, but I mean, listen, I'm going off precedent too. Like the NFL definitely handled the, I think, COVID management situation better than any other league. They've shown flexibility to do stuff like that. And there's, aside from the tragedy of the situation, and we want this kid to be healthy, I think a lot of people, the rubber meets the road, and eventually they're going to be like, well, there's money at stake here, and on both teams, and they're going to be playing football again anyway. The question is, can they get it in a timely manner and keep it fair? And a lot of these guys put their bodies on the line to win the Super Bowl and be successful. And who knows? No one's really talked to a lot of the Bengals or Bills players. Who knows what they're feeling? Maybe they want to play it. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But I do think they're going to get it in somehow. I mean, at the end of the day, Andy Reid, Sean McDermott, they know each other. Maybe they do a coin flip for who gets, the number one seed, right? I mean, the Bills went in there and beat them. They want to win their first Super Bowl ever. And at a certain point, things are going to go back to normal. And I don't see them not trying to play the game. I think about the fans too, like fans that paid to see the game and all that. And, are they going to, if the NFL is going to do what's right, they need to refund them all that ticket money, refund them everything. You know what I mean? And I just don't see the NFL letting that game go by. I just don't see it. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. There's been a lot of speculation, and I could be wrong. Been wrong before, but I just don't see this game not getting played somehow.
The NFL will not resume the Bengals-Bills game. Rob Motti just tweeted that. 2 people familiar with the decision told me. So it looks like they tweeted that out, and there's multiple people reporting that doesn't look like, per Vic Carucci and Sirius XM NFL, the Bengals could be awarded a win for Monday Night Football game, as the Bills are not interested in replaying it.
I think that's fair. I mean, if the one team decides they don't want to play it for whatever reason it may be, you let the chips lie where they in. And the team says, "Hey, we're forfeiting. We don't want to play. We're not interested in it." And you got to let it lie where they lie. I mean, if they awarded to the Bengals were winning, and the way the game wrapped up, it seemed like the Bills were like, "Hey, we got to go to the hospital," and that's fine. I mean, even announcers were like, "Oh, well, they see the equipment guys packing up their stuff." So, you got to. There's no one's going to be satisfied with the solution at the end of the day. There's not going to be a solution that everybody's like, you know what, I'm satisfied with that.
Don't let an 8th team in the playoffs.
Yeah. See, there's no. That's what I'm saying. Me personally, I would eliminate the extra week before the Super Bowl and just have that game played week 18 by itself. Everybody in America will be watching it, make tons of money, but I guess that comes down to the players too. I don't know.
Because the media week before the Super Bowl is huge. The rest week before the Super Bowl, you want everybody to have everybody for the Super Bowl. True. I completely disagree. I think that them making a decision on who wins this football game versus who loses this football game, I think the Buffalo Bills are doing exactly what they should do. I respect that. If they forfeit the game and say, listen, DeMar is here and he's alive, and that's a win for us. So we'll take the loss and we'll be able to go on the road and we'll beat DeMar strong. I think that's the way to go about it. I think that's super, and I love that, how that goes. The Ravens weren't going to win the NFC North anyway, Jordan. They're going to throw out their backup quarterback again because Lamar doesn't want to play football, and the Bengals are going to curb stomp them this weekend. So don't worry about that. And if they play this weekend and the Bengals don't play anybody, it's the only chance the Ravens have a win in that football game. So let's just be clear when we say this: the Ravens are a borderline playoff team and they stink. So let me just say that out loud.
I think maybe the Bills are confident that they can win again and go into KC because they did it. We'll talk about this later, but I think the first playoff game, I think the KFC Chiefs are ripe for a first round upset, whatever round they're in.
You're out of your mind.
Well, okay.
You're out of your mind.
We'll see.
The first round upset?
If whatever round they're in, first or second round, if they end up being the number one seed, the first game they play, they're due for an upset. What happened to them last year?
Do you think it depends on who they play?
Joe Burrow, exactly. Okay. Joe Burrow's a stud. So hold on, let's play it out, right? Let's just say the 1, 2, and 3 seeds are Kansas City, Buffalo, and Cincinnati. So that's what they are, right? So that means they won't be playing any of those. Well, they could play one of those 3 teams if they end up the 2 seed. they'd have to play, which it doesn't look like it. If Buffalo forfeits that game and Kansas City's the 1 seed, that means they're going to play the 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, or 7 team. So you tell me what team in the 4, 5, 6, or 7 beats the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. I'll go through it. Which way? Did the Jaguars beat them? No.
I think
Ravens?
it's possible.
No.
The Ravens are the Ravens going to play them?
The Ravens are going to play in the 4-5 game. They'll be the highest wild card. They'll end up playing Jacksonville. So the winner of Jacksonville versus Baltimore will play at Kansas City. And you think either one of those teams beats Kansas City and Kansas City, you're out your damn mind.
I have my reasoning.
Out your damn mind.
You watch Patrick Mahomes
I
throw
guess
the
the
ball.
Chargers would also be.
I can see the Chargers too. Patrick Mahomes, when he throws the ball, he has trouble throwing a deep ball this year. I've seen him miss wide open receivers that might
too deep safety.
No. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I've seen him miss wide. I want to preface this: wide open receivers. There's no safety there. I saw him last week with MVS. I've seen him before. There's something wrong with his arm. I don't know if it's something's going on, and I'm telling you, it's not going to play well in the playoffs.
Yeah, Kyle, tell me that this guy's right.
I mean, I don't see them losing in the first round. I still say for the Bengals and the Bills, I think one of those two teams, if they go up against Kansas City, could feel confident that they could beat them. I don't know if I'd pick them. I mean, I do like the Bengals against them, but I've been on the Bengals for a while, and maybe I'm overrating them. But I think, Bengals with that offense could give Kansas City problems. And Buffalo, with all this and the emotional ride that they may be on in these playoffs, we might see the best Buffalo that we've ever seen. And, they could go into Kansas City and win as well. But the lower seeds, I don't see it. I mean, if Miami and all those get in,
Miami.
I don't.
Well, you're hurting me right now with this Miami talk, because if you're telling me, I don't see Miami getting in. If they get in, then all right, you're gonna give me Skylar Thompson or Teddy Bridgewater. But I mean,
I was just throwing out, teams at the bottom.
Let's talk the Ravens, right? What's the Achilles heel of the Chiefs? If you could run the football, they got beat by the Colts this year. Now I know that was several weeks ago, but they're missing Tyreek Hill will show up in the playoffs, and on top of that, I mean, watch the games. I'm not making it up. There was a pass last week where it looked like I didn't know what he was doing. MVS was open by a mile, and it was just the most weak ball I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, what's wrong with him? And I've just seen it all year long. He's a good quarterback. I'm not saying he's a bad player. Just saying I think they're ripe for an upset. Ripe for an upset. I'm just saying it's got to happen to someone. We all agree they're not going to beat the Bengals or the Bills. I mean, a lot of people are going to say that. I mean, I could see the Ravens. You're going to say I'm crazy, but if they get Lamar in there and they run that ball and they establish that run on them, what's going to happen?
Okay, so I can see where you're coming from with that. If the Ravens, I guess, shorten the game, long methodical drives, get ahead of Kansas City, and force Kansas City to maybe do something stupid, sure. But my thing is, like, we've seen the Ravens, over the last 10 weeks or so.
Yeah, they're not.
I just worry if they'll be able to put up enough points to get it done. I think they have the formula to do it. It's just whether or not they could actually execute. Because I don't know about Harbaugh's conservative style and all that in the playoffs against Kansas City. And let's say Kansas City gets a 10-point lead on the Ravens. You trust that they could come back?
No.
You're wild.
So that's what I'm saying.
No.
It's like the margin of error for the Ravens is too small that I would feel confident in them. But maybe out of the bottom tier teams in the playoff picture,
Godfrey.
I guess they'd have the best chance.
Did Godfrey just say a minute ago? I heard this. I had a scoff camera for a minute. Did you just say that Patrick Mahomes is a good quarterback?
It's a great quarterback, yeah.
Okay, no, that's what he said a minute ago.
All right, we're splicing good and great. He's an awesome quarterback. I mean, I'm not saying
I'm not generational quarterback. We've never seen a quarterback of his stature ever.
All right, man. I'm looking at the games this year. He's not. Listen, he doesn't have the same receivers.
It's
not all on him, by the way. It's not all on him.
Who's going to win the MVP?
I'm
not saying who should win the MVP. I'm asking who's going to win the MVP.
Right now, man, I think I go with Joey B. To be honest, I mean,
do you know Mahomes threw for 5,000 yards without Tyreek Hill this year?
Yeah, he's putting the stats up.
40 touchdowns.
Okay. What's the longest pass that he's completed for a touchdown?
I don't have that in front of me.
He hasn't completed long passes for touchdowns.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that they kept score of how long the touchdown was.
Of course they do. What do you mean? I'm talking about.
No, I'm talking about, like, does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. I never said he wasn't a great player or a good player. I'm talking. He's a generational player. I'm not debating that. I'm telling you where his game is at this season as we sit, not how his career has looked or what talent he brings to the table, or if he's going to be MVP. I'm not saying he's not even worthy of that. I'm just telling you, in the playoffs, that's going to hurt them. The deep ball, the lack of, will hurt them, and it's not just the receivers not being there. He's not throwing the ball effectively deep, and that's a big part of it. I mean, when they came back on all these teams, they're playing the safety over the top, and some of them are taking away Travis Kelce. It's been a harder road for him, right? I mean, people are playing them tough, and there's a dimension of their offense that is non-existent anymore.
Godfrey, you are out of your mind if you think that Patrick Mahomes is going to lose the first playoff game he plays this year, unless it's versus Cincinnati or Buffalo, which it won't be.
Did we all think that Joey Burrow was definitely upsetting them last year when he went into KFC?
Joe Burrow is a winner, bro.
But last year, did people think that?
Joe Burrow are not in the same freaking category.
For sure. I'm not even saying it, but last year when people were making playoff predictions, did they say Cincinnati's going to go in there and beat them? I bet you most people didn't say that. I want to see that take. I want to see it on tape that they said that. That they're not. I don't want no 2020 takes. Where it's after the fact. Everybody had 2020 vision after the game. How many people said that was going to happen last year, and it happened?
Okay, I guess we'll find out because we'll be doing this show, and then I don't mind doing this show after the Chiefs win their first playoff game, and you go, "Oh, well, they only played so and so."
It's no, you can get upset by anyone in the playoffs. It's possible.
Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about, because the conversation keeps coming up. Cottrell just brought up in our group chat. Jeremy brought up earlier to talk about the 18 playoffs. If it goes to both conferences, that's absolute bullshit. Just to be clear, it should be AFC only. If they do that, I disagree with it. I think it's terrible. If the Philadelphia Eagles played all year for the 1 seed and they go to an 18 playoffs and the Eagles have to play next week, and while they're setting up their schedule to have the bye, that's an absolute joke on the NFL's behalf. And I don't understand what the NFC has to do with that. What does the NFC have to do with a game being canceled? That's a joke. There's no way they should do that. If they do that, that is so absurd.
That's why I'm not believing nothing until I see an official NFL statement. No, I heard this from this guy. This guy tweeted it. He's a good source, Vic Carucci. I want to see it from the NFL. I want to see them say it. I'm not believing that until they say it.
Yeah. I mean, all it is probably that they're just throwing out all kinds of random stuff right now.
They're waiting for this weekend to play out. That's what it is. They're waiting for this weekend to play out. They're not going to.
No, you can't do that. They have to make a decision before this weekend. You can't add an extra playoff game on Monday morning. You can't just be like, oh, you were going to have to bye after you won this game and you rested players or whatever you did.
Well, now
you don't.
I don't think it's going to happen. But what if the Chiefs lose? I don't think it will happen. Well, what if they do? Doesn't it make their decision a little bit easier on Saturday night? They can wait till after Saturday. I mean, what stops them from doing that? We got 2 games.
It would affect the Eagles if they have an 18 playoff on both sides, Tim, because the Eagles, instead of having a bye on the first round and being able to rest and get healthy, they would have to play the 8th seed Seattle Seahawks or Green Bay Packers or Detroit Lions. Seriously, that's what would have to happen. Instead of getting a week off, you'd have to play against Aaron Rodgers.
You can't add another seed to the playoffs during the season. I'm sorry. This is why, no one wants to see, the thing is here, I'm going to say it, no one wants to be the bad guy in this situation. Nobody does. Everybody wants to come out clean. No one's going to be happy. At the end of the day, I think they should just they're going to either call a forfeit or say the game ends as it lies, and that's the end of the game. They won 7-3. Something like that has to happen. People were on the field. It ended. It's a shame it ended that way. We're more concerned about Hamlin, which makes sense. So if we're not concerned about finishing the game, and they shouldn't have been, then let's just move on from the game and call it as it is. No one's going to be happy if you're reseeding, you're adding playoff teams. No one's going to be happy. There's no solution. So you're just going to have to, it was played, the game ended 7-3, right? I mean, that's the best way to do it. If the Bills are willing to go that way, why not do it that way then? They're not fighting it.
Completely agree with you.
Well, I mean, I think Mike Florio said it on, I can't remember this, a Pro Football Focus or something like that. Pro Football Talk, I think. He said basically the league just has to look at it and pick whatever scenario is the least of the bad options out there. Because, like you said, Godfrey, no matter what they decide to do with this game, somebody, I guess, will be upset by it.
Yeah,
So
I could hear them printing F. Roger Goodell shirts right now in Baltimore. You know, like I'm just saying, like, all right, it ended 7-3. It sucks that it ended that way. You know what I mean? They do it in baseball all the time. The difference here is these games are meaningful because of the seedings of the game. If this was like, I don't know, the Texans versus, the Broncos, they'd be like, yeah, it's game done.
Right.
Done. You know, and that's what they got to do. To reseed or make, like, I don't think you could play with the seeding, and I don't think you can add an eighth seed to the playoffs unless that's the NFL trying to be Dr. Frankenstein and say, if we add an eighth seed, what kind of ratings can we get? You know what I mean? Like something crazy like that. They're taking advantage of a bad situation right there if they do that, in my opinion.
That would be such a bad. It's so absolutely hypocritically unfair.
I mean, like 7 teams in the playoffs when they started that. Now we're going to go to 8? 8?
Imagine if the 8th team in the NFC was Green Bay, and that's going to look like, they just did it to get Aaron Rodgers in.
Well, I mean, they're going to screw the Lions anyway. We're going to talk about that. we'll get to that later, I'm pretty sure. But
I'll tell you right now, I don't think they're going to screw the Lions. But let me just say this out loud: if anybody screwed the Lions, it's the Lions. You can't go into Carolina and get smacked around by Carolina and then tell me somebody screwed you. That's not what happened. You got smacked around by Sam Darnold. Don't lie to yourself. That's who screwed you.
Well, listen, I don't disagree with you there. I'm a big proponent of looking at the whole body of work, and that's really where you got the result because of that, right? I agree, but I'm just talking about maybe like, oh man, look at that pass interference call, on that last drive. I don't know.
I actually think that the public perception would be more behind the Detroit Lions.
Oh yeah.
The Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
I think it's better for ratings if Detroit makes the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I got news for you. We'll talk about that game as we get there.
Green Bay is a big market.
The AFC South will be played Saturday night in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
The Tennessee Titans with Joshua Dobbs, Derrick Henry back, will be playing at Dougie P, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Who wins? Who wins the game?
Jacksonville. I mean, I've been on board with Jacksonville winning that division. I'm not going to jump off the ship now. I mean, I keep seeing that, Lawrence is questionable with a toe. I'm not buying into that. You're not going to miss this game. So, I mean, can Derrick Henry have some crazy game of like 200 plus yards on the ground?
No.
I was saying, like, that's kind of Tennessee's only way I could see them winning this. So, since that's not going to happen, I'm sticking with Peterson and Lawrence and the suddenly hot Jaguars.
Yeah, the Jags.
Can I tell you why that can't happen? Because Doug Peterson's a good coach.
Yeah, I'm assuming they'll just gear up for
Derrick. Exactly. You throw 8 people in the box all day. There's no way Derrick Henry beats me.
Yeah.
I'm getting beat on the arm of Dobbs. That's it.
Yep.
Godfrey, Jacksonville or Tennessee?
Jacksonville. I mean, if you watch the last couple of games that Derrick Henry's played, he's doing un-Derrick Henry-like stuff. Getting balls ripped from him, fading in the second half. It's a fair question to ask. Is this where the plateau is for him, and is he falling off the cliff? At his age, with his usage, and the type of runner he is, and now you have to deal with 8 in the box. Give me the Jags all day long. They're winning the division. And Vegas supports that since like 3 weeks ago. And Josh Hobbs is going to go in there and win a big-time game at quarterback? Wow. I mean, Malik Willis, you're buried, my guy. Josh Hobbs was starting for them. I couldn't believe my eyes watching that game last week. I was like, is this a game I'm watching right now? What's going on? So even if Ryan Tannehill was there, I still think they would beat him, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah. I think that Doug EP's got that team bought in. And I love what I'm seeing from Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne. I like Jacksonville in that game.
December football is Dougie P's jam. That's all I know.
So
Always has been.
Kyle, you're a Patriots fan, and I think that here's the funny part. I'm going to ask you guys a question. I'm not going to go through all the games because all the games becomes really boring.
Mhm.
Oh, who wins this game? We do this. It's just it's boring. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Who gets the 7th seed in the AFC playoff picture?
Well, I mean,
I know who you want. Don't tell me who you. I want you to tell me who gets it.
well, I don't think the Patriots get it. I don't see them beating Buffalo with all of this going on. I wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo puts up like a 30-point win against the Patriots. And to be honest with you, I'd be okay with it.
But see, there's another way that New England gets in the playoffs.
Miami would have to lose. I think Pittsburgh would have to lose.
Okay.
Yeah. And that Pittsburgh, I mean, the more I think about it, I could see that happening. I mean, they're playing Cleveland. We know Mike Tomlin is a really good coach. He's going to have them geared up for that game. And if New England does lose, I think Pittsburgh's going to feel like they might be able to sneak in there at 9-8. I mean, the Dolphins play the Jets. Are the Jets like invested in that game?
Zach Wilson versus Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, jeez.
Robert Saleh will go out there and play quarterback himself. He has to beat the Dolphins.
I mean, he'll probably go Wildcat and be better off with that.
Listen, I think the Steelers make it. Tomlin has them playing. Kenny Pickett's on the rise. I don't think the Dolphins win. The question for me is what happens in the Patriots game, and I do believe that the Bills will come out and play inspired football for their teammate. I just can't see it not happening, and the Bills fans will love nothing more than to stamp out the Patriots because they've hated them forever. You know this, Kyle, because you're a Patriots fan.
Yep.
And I could totally see the Steelers making their way in there. Listen, man, they snuck their way in there last year with a miracle tie at the end of the season. It's not unfathomable for to do that. And Tomlin's a hell of a coach, man. He knows how to. He never gives up, ever. And I just see, T.J. Watt's healthy. They're going to win. I don't have any doubt about the Steelers winning. 0 doubt. They're going to win, and I don't see the Dolphins winning. So I'm Steelers 7th seed.
Okay. I have the Steelers also. So I think the Jets beat the Dolphins. I think the Bills beat the Patriots, and I think the Steelers beat the Browns. So if that scenario, the way I have played out, the Steelers make the playoffs. The Steelers go 9-8 and make the playoffs over both New England and Miami. Miami collapses, goes 8-9, losing all their games down the stretch. There was a report out of Miami that was just posted a little further up by Brett. If they lose Sunday, McDaniels might get fired. You guys think that's a legit possibility or just clickbait? Let me just say this.
Oh my God, they fired him.
Well, hold on. I don't think he should be fired.
Mm-hmm.
However, why would it be anything? So, listen, Stephen Ross has proved to me time and time again he's an awful human being. But why would Stephen Ross keep his job after he fired Brian Flores, who was 9-8?
Well, because Mike McDaniel's a Tua guy, and they still are, despite what happened.
Bro, Tua's good.
I know he's probably done, but do you think is he going to retire? You think is the kid going to try to come back? I mean,
I think he should retire,
but that doesn't mean he
if
will.
This doesn't teach you anything. I think that kid needs to retire now.
Yeah, somebody in his inner circle probably is going to have to sit him down and really, really talk to him. Because I'm sure he's going to want to play next season because we've seen this year. He went back in with the concussion and he was ready to go.
Because of the handling of Tua, you think McDaniels?
I was just going to respond to that. Yeah.
You think McDaniels has any say in the handling of Tua?
No.
Stephen Ross is like, oh, I don't care. Is he alive? Throw him on the field.
Well, maybe Stephen Ross is Stephen Ross has been put on probation at the rich people cocktail parties that he goes to, and they're like, and the owners being like, you can't fire people right now. You have to wait at least another year. I don't know, but it makes no sense. I think despite all the crap going on surrounding the organization, I think Mike McDaniels is a bright young mind. And if they fired him, oh my God, teams will be running to sign him up as their coach. Unfortunately, Tua's been hurt and had a scary situation, and he's had concussions. There's nothing you can do about that. So he's working with what he had to work with. It's unfair what happened to Brian Flores, but I don't know, man. It'd be wild. I think it's clickbait. I don't think it's real. There's no way they're firing that kid. I just don't see it.
I don't put it past that awful owner.
Yeah, I'm the same way as Gene. With Stephen Ross, who knows? I mean, he could think that Miami job is some glamour job, and he'll go get, Jim Harbaugh or something.
Sean Payton, Tom Brady.
Yeah, he'll think all those guys will want to run down there, and he'll be like, yeah.
Everybody says Jim Harbaugh, but Jim Harbaugh's not dealing with that guy. He's not going to work for Stephen Ross. I don't care if he's from Michigan or not.
I was talking about how delusional Stephen Ross is.
Yeah, dude, Jim Harbaugh already had to deal with that jerk off in San Francisco, okay, that ran him out of town. All right, Balky or whatever his name is, and that was in the Jags eventually and all that guy. Jim Harbaugh has enough of a legacy where he's not dealing with guys like that. I don't see him working for a guy like that. I just don't see it. I don't care that they went to the same school. Everybody says that. Okay, whatever. I just don't. That's not. Harbaugh's not the type of dude to take shit, and you're gonna have to eat shit. You're gonna have to be a young coach that doesn't have any other shot anywhere else, or plucked from somewhere, and that is impressionable for you to be a coach for that owner.
Stephen Ross is absolute garbage, and the only reason McDaniels won't get fired is because of his skin complexion. Hey, man, I'm not disagreeing with you. What happened with Brian Flores there still sits with me. It still bothers me every day. It's one of my most viewed TikTok videos. That organization has proved to you time and time again they do not care about character. They do not care about doing the right thing. They traded for Tyreek Hill and paid him $30 million. You want to talk about the shittiest person in the whole NFL? It's probably Tyreek Hill. Out of all people in the NFL, let's pay him $30 million.
Well, this is why I think part of the reason the game gets played, the philosophy in NFL is look, just look at these two guys, right? Hill and Watson, both shitty dudes, but they can play ball, so they got him back on the field.
Yep.
That was a third stringer, gone. Second stringer, gone. Backup quarterback, gone. But if you got talent, you'll get back on the field. Look at Greg Hardy, right? Like, he got back on the field. That guy's not a good human being. I don't care what anybody says. I read that case. I did a whole expose on a podcast about that guy, and Jerry Jones's daughter was like the head of the domestic violence organization in the NFL or whatever they called it. Like, really? And you signed that dude? Okay, cool. So if they perceive for you to have some worthwhile talent, they'll find a way to get you on the field. 100%. Because the shield comes first before all else. And I don't agree with it. I'm just saying that's the mantra. That's how they roll. That's part of the reason why I think the game's going to play. Money, money, money. Everybody has a price.
I have a huge I want to spend a lot of this show talking about what I think is going to happen Sunday. Okay, so we all agree that the Jaguars win Saturday night. Can we all agree that the Chiefs beat the Raiders?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So if those things happen,
I'm going to be doing backflips in the chat if they don't.
NFL Sunday, which was set up to be Week 18 was set up to be a lot of meaningful games. We'll have almost none. Watch how this happens. Bucks Falcons doesn't matter. Bucks already clinched the division. Patriots Bills, depending on what happens, I don't want to touch that right now, so I'm gonna skip over that one. That matters a lot because the Patriots playoff seeding and the 1 seed. So we'll just Vikings Bears no longer matters. It matters for the 2 and 3 seed. Doesn't matter. Ravens Bengals right now no longer matters. Texans Colts never mattered. Jets Dolphins kind of matters for that last playoff spot for Miami, so we'll say that one does. Browns Steelers kind of matters for Tomlin's 9-8 record and for the Steelers playoff berth. Eagles Giants, the Giants are sitting everybody. The Eagles are 14-point favorites in this game. Saquon's not going to play. You would expect to see a lot of Tyrod Taylor. A lot of the Giants' top players will not be playing in that football game. Anyway, the Eagles lose that football game, Kyle.
No.
Cardinals 49ers really doesn't matter if the Eagles win, right? Nothing matters there. I need to park on this game. There's going to be a game that's going to be a fix on Sunday, and you're hearing it here first. I am telling you what's going to happen. I am telling you right now, when you watch this game, you're going to see a big play. Geno Smith to DK Metcalf. Holding. Offense, number 72. It's a 10-yard penalty. We're going to replay the first down. There is not a snowball's chance in hell that Seattle's winning that. Dude, the Rams are 6-point dogs. I'm telling you right now, put your money on the Rams. You want to make money? Put your money on the Rams money line. The Rams are going to win that football game with Baker Mayfield, Sean McVay, Cam Akers. They're going to win that football game. So the NFL sets it up perfectly. Lions-Packers for the playoffs, Sunday Night Football. You're welcome. Go earn yourself some money. I'm telling you right now, that game is going to be fixed.
YOLO, I'll put 100 on the money line.
What?
I'll put 100 on the money line. Plus 225. Let's go. I'm not even joking. I swear to God, I'll do it.
I'm doing it.
He knows me. I'll take suicidal bets.
I have a second one. The Cowboys-Commanders. The Commanders are this is so absurd to me. The Commanders have the Cowboys have 88% of the money. Sam Howell is starting a quarterback for the Commanders. It's almost a guarantee Riverboat Ron is fired Monday morning. What's the way to screw Dan Snyder on the way out? Win a game that doesn't matter and screw up draft picks. I'm telling you right now, just follow me when I say this. The Cowboys are going to see the Eagles game and the Eagles are going to be blowing them out. The Cowboys are going to pull starters, and the Commanders are going to win that football game. If you put $100 on Commanders and Rams money line, it pays out $2,000. You're welcome. It's actually $1,500.
I can't do it then. Anything less than $2,000.
Your thoughts on what I just said? If you have any opinion, I want Jaguars over Titans. We agree. Ravens over Bengals wouldn't be crazy if the Bengals are already gifted the AFC North because it doesn't matter. Kyle?
I mean, I still say I don't understand why the Green Bay game wasn't played at the same time as the Seattle game. So the fact
that's why.
I mean, it kind of lends itself to all that happening. I mean, it would make that game must-see TV. Yeah, I mean, hey, you laid it out. Kind of makes sense to me. I mean, I wouldn't laugh at it if it happened, but
I mean, your reasoning or line of thinking, Gene, is why I think the Lions are going to take it deep, and I don't mean a home run over the fence.
Oh, you think they're going to? Oh, see, I'll get into that.
So that's why I was saying that, because I mean, look, I mean, I think public would love the Detroit Lions story, no doubt about it. But that's not the public controlling that. So I'm not saying they're going to fix the game. I'm just saying they're going to have to play a hell of a game to pull this off on, against Green Bay. The house is against them.
But it's not. I'll get into Green Bay Lions in a minute, but I just need you guys to co-sign my thought that Seattle loses earlier in the day. Anybody else? Are you guys with me there or no?
I mean, I like a really good upset. I mean, you're selling me on it, but man, I could see it, man. I mean, listen, the Seahawks have been on a decline, and Cam Akers has, Mr. Miyagi went in there and did that rub on his Achilles, man, because he has come alive. Killed me in the playoffs, by the way. Dude was only starting because he had to, and I don't know, man. I could see that. I could totally see that happening. I would not be surprised to see that happening. I mean, you got people playing, though, because the Rams packed it in a while ago. But you have people playing in place that are playing for jobs. Baker Mayfield's playing for a job.
Yep.
He might be auditioning for the Seahawks for all we know. Sorry, Gino. Maybe. So I could see it. The other one, though, the Cowboys-Commanders one, that's a little bit tougher for me to swallow. I don't know. I mean, I would love it. That would be amazing. But when you look at that, I mean, Sam Howell. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of him in college. I've seen some of his tape when he got drafted. I don't know if he's supposed to be the QB of the future. I do agree Riverboat Ron is gone. Said that earlier in the year. Thought he was gone. He sealed his fate. Don't know why they decided to start Carson Wentz. That was an automatic 3 interceptions. And the
We
Cowboys.
want to talk about the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. How did he not know that they could be eliminated? How did he not know their playoff situation? Because he's checked out.
Yeah.
There's no way you didn't know that.
Yeah.
How do you not know that? He went in a press conference. Oh, we could be eliminated? Yeah, if the Packers beat the Vikings. Bro, how does he not know that? I think here's the truth, right? I think that the Commanders winning football games coincided directly with Daniel Snyder saying he was going to sell the team. And when it looked like he was going to keep the team, Ron's like, fuck, I'm done.
Is he keeping the team now? Is that what they're saying? Or is he selling?
I mean, right now he's trying to keep the team. Jim Irsay spoke out publicly. I'm not ousting him. And like all these terrible owners, they're awful people. They don't care. And their whole argument is, I don't want to, he's fighting. Exactly. I think he truly wants to get out of there. And I think that Ron Rivera will get another job, maybe not a head coaching job right away, but he'll get a job on the sidelines for someone as a defensive coordinator. I'll tell you right now, man, I think that Washington Commanders job, he wants to get fired. He's literally, I'm just done with this franchise.
He's tanking the job.
But I think that this one will be the good screw you out the door by beating the Cowboys and ruining the Commanders' playoff hopes. I think it's a perfect setup right now. I really do.
Who's starting?
The money's on the Cowboys, man.
Sam Howell starting?
Yes.
Well, just by Carson Wentz being benched, that improves their chances. If the Cowboys do pull the players, it's possible. But yeah, I think Daniel Snyder probably has photos of Jim Irsay doing blow off the back of a hooker or something in a party they were both at. And that's why he was like, yeah, I got your back. I got your back, bro.
Oh, I got it.
Like, remember this? You remember this?
92% of the money is now on the Cowboys.
92%. Damn.
92% of the money in the Cowboys-Commanders game is on the Cowboys.
But how do they have the only path to victory there is if they're pulling their starters, right?
Bro, did you not watch Dallas play at
Right.
Jacksonville a few weeks ago?
I did. You mean even Tennessee? I know they beat them, but they were still
Houston?
Yeah, they're Dax likes throwing picks. He likes to throw picks. I don't know. He should have carved that team up. I don't even know how it was even. I mean, I won that bet. They beat them. They covered the spread and all that. But I don't know. Watch that and I'm like, what's going on here? But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's a worthwhile bet. I mean, you got me at $1,500. You said for $100 bet.
Yeah, I'll check it right now for you right now. But do it one more time because
gonna...
the money line went down a little bit on the Rams game, but I did it earlier in the week. Hold on. Let me tell you exactly what it will be right now. So we're going to put a parlay together as a hosts here. All right, we'll go. Here it is right here. We got Rams money lines down to 225. Commanders money lines at plus 260. A two-legged $100 parlay pays out $1,000. They both dropped money line wise. Let's add something in here. What are we adding? Come on, we gotta add something. We'll have some fun with this one. I'm gonna put the bet in right now.
Oh man.
On air.
I'm gonna keep it to 2, but if you wanted to add one, I mean,
I want to add one. I want to get it like close to $1,500, $2,000.
Well, I mean, you could probably take the money line on the Jets beating the Dolphins. That's what
the offense.
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, I don't see. Yeah, they're plus 112 on the money line on free scores and odds.
I'll tell you right now. You know something funny? Let me see what this is. So if I went Ravens money line over the Bengals might sit everybody. 100 to win $4,000.
So that's just the 3.
That's just those 3. Is there any other ones you feel super confident? You know what? I'll tell you which one I feel confident in. We'll talk about it right now. 100 to win $3,386. I'm going to add the Detroit Lions money line over Green Bay because Sunday Night Football and the whole world's going to expect Aaron Rodgers to be in the playoffs. And I'm telling you right now, man, that Dan Campbell team fights. They're going to run the football. Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift. I like the Lions Sunday night. I do. I don't care what anybody says.
I can't take that bet. I could just see myself. I can envision myself being fucked, having all the other teams winning and just needing the game to end with the Lions winning. I can envision myself losing that goddamn bet. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I don't even care if I miss out on the money. I'm not adding the Lions to the bet.
All right. Well, let's talk about that game. No, I don't think so. It's Packers all the way. Okay. I won't add that. We'll talk about it. We'll do it by the end of the show. But let's talk about Packers versus Lions because we're assuming this is going to be a playoff game on Sunday Night Football. That's what the NFL needs, guys. That's what they need. They want all the eyes on the playoff game, Sunday Night Football. Yeah. Packers, Lions. You tell me how you think it goes. Start with you, Godfrey, because I know you're on the Packers.
Yeah, I think the Lions could beat them. I just that same line of thinking you're using is the same reason why I think they're going to lose a close one. I mean, what's the spread right now? I'm looking at
4.5. Now.
4.5. I mean, I would definitely take the Lions to cover. I don't think the Packers beat them by 4.5. It's in Green Bay. Jared Goff has been playing well on the road and at home. I would dare say this has been a career year for him. I'm pretty sure it has. I haven't looked at statistics, but it's been playing good ball.
It feels like it has been.
Yeah. Plus 198. I always love a good money line. That is tempting. But I'm gonna go with the Pack to win by 3 right here.
So you got the Packers winning, but not covering. Kyle, what do you see in this game?
I mean, I like the Lions. I don't know. I feel like there's something special about this group. I love what Dan Campbell's brought there. I love what he's doing with the team. And I feel like it'd be fitting for this season. You know, Green Bay came with a lot of hype. They started off kind of, okay. Went through that tough stretch. Now they're actually playing good. Aaron Rodgers is, happy-go-lucky in interviews now. And then the final day of the season, they blow it all against the Lions. We get grumpy Aaron Rodgers. He goes into the offseason. He holds the team hostage again, threatening a bunch of stuff. Kind of would make me happy. And maybe that's clouding my judgment here, but I like the Lions in this one. I think they find a way.
You know what? When you said that the Lions are special, I thought that too until they beat the Panthers. And then I felt like it was when I buy a used car and I get home and I'm like, I don't remember that dent being in the fender when I bought the car. Right? And then now I'm like, man, I really don't like this car as much. There's a dent in the fender. And that's what I felt like after the Lions lost to the Panthers. I mean, or we got to say the Panthers are playing good ball. By the way, I think Steve Wilkes should have a job. I think he's done a hell of a coaching job. I really do. I mean, with what he's had.
Coaches.
What do you say?
There's too many better qualified coaches.
There should be, but maybe he can fill the role of Commander's coach, which no one wants, and he can get another shot. So
I'm putting the lottery ticket in, boys. It's placed.
There you go.
There you go.
The lottery ticket has been placed. 100 to win 34.86. Rams, Commanders, Lions. I put my money where my mouth is. I put my money where my mouth is. Give me the Rams, Commanders, and the Lions.
No, you could be safe and do a bet on each one of those games individually and not win as much, but win some.
Bro, $100 to win 200 isn't fun. $100 to win 3,500, that's fun.
Or you could just put 100 on, each game as they go, and then you cover your bases if you lose that game.
I might. You never know. You never know with me. I'm just kidding. So I got the Lions in this one. I think they run the football. Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift. I know the Jared Goff thing. He doesn't play well on the road. Doesn't play well on the whatever. I like the Lions in this one. I really do. I believe it.
Yeah, maybe the Panthers game was just what Campbell needed to kind of fire them back up again.
Agreed.
What, not having a winning season for like ever didn't fire them up?
Yeah, but maybe they were feeling themselves, and then
might have
they
been.
got away from them in that game, and Campbell was like, "Okay, guys,
This is a perfect example of big brother versus little brother. The Detroit Lions have been getting beaten like a redheaded stepchild for years by the Green Bay Packers. I think that team is tougher.
Mhm.
I think that team is more equipped to handle pressure. I think they run the ball better. I think they have a better offensive line, and I think they have a better defensive line. And when you can win the football game in the trenches, it's a very dirty game to play. I'll take it. I'm taking the Lions. I think the Lions make the playoffs. I'm rooting for the Lions. Give me some Dan Campbell, some Deuce Staley, some Aaron Glenn, some Hank Fraley. Give me all those ex-players to win a game, Week 18, Sunday Night Football.
Do you hear that? Roughing the passer on Aaron Rodgers.
Yo!
Roughing the passer. Oh my God, there's 20 seconds left, but now they're on the 20-yard line with a first down. Offsides, defense, neutral zone infraction. What the fuck's going on? I'm just saying.
That was hilarious.
I don't know, man.
All right,
I hope it doesn't. I want to see the Lions win. I want to see them win. So I'll be rooting for them.
Last thing on the docket I want to talk about today. We'll talk about the playoff bracket and the way it's going to look. We'll obviously give our predictions next for how the playoff bracket goes. But I want to project the playoff bracket, if you guys don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to go Chiefs. I think that Buffalo forfeits that game. That's just me. Chiefs, Bills, Bengals. Chargers and Ravens are tied in the 4 seed or for the highest wild card right now. So let's do it this way.
But if the Ravens beat them because they sit their players, doesn't that knock the Bengals out of 3rd seed?
No, because the Bengals will technically be 12-4.
Oh, got you.
And then the Ravens would only be 11-6. Well, 12-5 versus 11-6. But I'll go Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, Jaguars, Ravens. I think the Chargers get upset because they don't care whether they're the 4 seed or the 5 seed. Just follow me here. Ravens, Chargers, Steelers. They're my 7 playoff teams in the West, in that order, which leads us to Buffalo versus Pittsburgh in Buffalo, Cincinnati versus Baltimore in Cincinnati.
3rd time. Okay.
And sorry, I said that wrong. Cincinnati versus the Chargers in Cincinnati. Okay. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars hosting Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens.
I mean, I think the only one for me, I'd probably flip-flop the Ravens and the Chargers. And then that way you get Trevor Lawrence versus Justin Herbert in the 1st round. You get Bengals, Ravens for the 3rd time. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, all that I agree with. I would just say Ravens and Chargers flip-flopping.
For the NFC, what do you think, Godfrey? Do you think that's the?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I will say it's hard to beat a team 3 times.
I know.
It's hard to beat a team 3 times. So the Bengals beat them again.
It's hot out here for a PM. I don't think the Bengals play this game. I really don't. I think that when this all gets cracked out, I think the Bengals will already have won the AFC North, and this game will be irrelevant for them. And I think they end up sitting everybody. So I don't think it's the 3rd time they play them. That's why I think the Ravens – bro, I'm telling you right now, that's another one. You could throw $100 on the Ravens money line to win the football game versus Cincinnati, because I don't think Cincinnati plays anybody. I just don't.
Yeah.
But that's just an opinion.
Could be.
Okay. They're the NFC. We have the Eagles as the 1 seed. There's no way the 49ers lose to the Cardinals, and I don't know who's playing quarterback for them this week. Is it
Blau? Or I don't know.
David Blau? Okay, fine. I'll go Niners. Minnesota being the 3 seed, they're already locked there. So you got Philadelphia, San Fran, Minnesota. Tampa Bay is the 4. They're locked there.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas is locked at the 5 if Philadelphia wins. New York is locked at the 6 and the 7 seed. I'm going with the Detroit Lions
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
You're gonna have the Packers there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna stay consistent with my pick. I'm just, like I said, man, roughing the passer, Aaron Rodgers. So I'll go with the. I wouldn't fight you though at the 7. I mean, the Seahawks. I definitely see that part of being like them losing, and no one wants to see Geno Smith in the playoffs. No one's excited about it. So I think
Dylan, I'm telling you, you guys are gonna get screwed Sunday. Dylan is a Seattle Seahawks fan.
Yeah.
The NFL wants a playoff game on Sunday Night Football. So what's going to happen, whether you guys deserve to lose the game or not, you're going to lose the game.
I'm going to use your same line of thinking for the Seahawks. They screwed themselves when they got beat by the Panthers.
Fair.
I mean, they're not having this conversation. They got one more victory. Same thing for the Lions. I mean, the Packers aren't even in it if those two teams have a victory more each.
Yeah.
That game being in Seattle might get ugly if they throw it the way I think they're going to throw it.
What are they going to throw Starbucks at them? Like
Amazon Fresh. I'm just kidding.
No one fears Seattle. No one fears Seattle. It's not like you're in Philly or like New York. No one's like, yeah, better get some extra security out here, or like Pittsburgh. I don't know.
Any final thoughts, gentlemen? We're wrapping up Pregaming Picks, and we will have a guest host next week for Wild Card Weekend. Any final thoughts today?
I mean, I think the only thing you really can say is, yeah, we've talked, the games and all that, but keep getting better, Hamlin. We're all rooting for you. We're all praying for you. And, no, I agree. I've been a big advocate of them. Yeah. Then I guess the other thing would be, as a Patriots fan, I can't even really root for them against Buffalo. Because it's just like the story there. Patriots already hated if they managed to win that game. I mean, that's going to be rough. But
if you want it, you do a little silent fist pump like, yes. Come on.
Yeah, I probably would. But, yeah, just keep making progress, DeMar. We're all praying for you.
I love that you ended it there. I can't. I don't want to say anything more. Keep making progress, DeMar. Godfrey?
Yeah, same here. Keep making progress. And I will say, whatever the NFL does, they are definitely the masters of leaving everybody on the hook, because even though these games are irrelevant, we still don't know how to feel about it because they haven't made an official decision yet. And I think that's on purpose. Hamlin, keep fighting. I was really encouraged to hear that the guy's talking and he's got brain function. I mean, that's what I was really worried about, the brain function portion of it. Really, really worried.
Same.
And that is a beautiful thing that this guy has brain function. Whatever else happens from there, he's got brain function. He can live quality of life. That's the most important thing first. That's pretty much all I got to say.
I love it. Thank you so much for tuning in to Pregaming Pigskin. We will see you next week for the playoffs. I hope you guys win a ton of bets this weekend with my crazy locks. And thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Yeah.
See you.